everybody to the Single on Stiletto Show. I'm Suzanne Oshima, and I'm a matchmaker and dating coach at Dream Bachelor and Bachelorette, and I'm also the founder of Single on Stilettos. Today we have on our show Joe Amoia, and he's a dating and relationship strategist at smarterdatingforwomen.com. And I'm so excited to have him here today because today we're talking about why the quick fix will not fix your love life. But before we get into today's topic, Joe, I would love for you to tell our audience a little bit about you and what you specialize in.
Well, first of all, Suzanne, I want to thank you for the opportunity for being here with you today. And I go by the title Dating and Relationship Strategist because I'm all about action. There's so much theory out there and so much, blog this and books on this, but yet everybody's still in the same boat. So I'm all about how do you get from point A to point B as quickly and efficiently as possible.
I love that because we can read all those things, but if you don't take action, forget it. It's not going to help you. So tell us why the quick fix or magic pill will not fix somebody's love life. And I love that you use those terms.
Well, first of all, I always say, let's step back and simply observe life.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we're trying to lose weight, we're trying to improve our finances, we're always looking for the quick fix and the magic pill. And those things may work and give us temporary results, but very rarely do they last. We grow up in a culture where we're all about chasing the symptoms, getting rid of the symptoms, but we don't really explore the cause. And so the reason why the quick fix magic pill doesn't work, you can bat your eyes, you can wear your hair a certain way, but that may help you attract the guy, but at the end of the day, is he going to be the right guy?
Right.
And so very often, a lot of these quick fix magic bullet items are designed to help us simply get a guy or to address the symptom, but they don't help us get to the real cause, which is it going to help you create the result that you really want?
And keep the relationship, right? Because you can get the guy, but then can you sustain the relationship? And I think that this is what I see, and you can tell me if you see this with your clients, and I'm pretty sure you do, is that a lot of my clients, what I will see is there's repeating patterns from past relationships. And what they don't realize is they think that they keep meeting the wrong guy, when actually, if you really evaluate your past relationship history, there's some repeating patterns going on there. And a lot of women will say, no, I just keep meeting the wrong guys. And it's about looking inward and seeing what's going on there, right?
Oh, it just happens to be a coincidence. You keep attracting the same exact type of, and again, we all get that. Right. And that's the beauty of life. If you simply sit back and observe, and you learn to take your ego out of it and you go, hey, wait a minute, maybe there's a reason why I keep attracting these guys. Because that's the lesson. The lesson is, the universe is sending you these guys to make you realize that will never lead you to where you want to go.
Right. And one of the things that I tell women too is because they'll say to me, well, I have a certain type. And maybe that type isn't your right type, because if that type of guy doesn't keep working out for you, then something may be off. I mean, you may be attracted to that, but that may not be the right guy for you in the long term, right?
Absolutely. And whenever I hear that, I simply go, how's your type working out for you?
I say the same thing to my clients, too. How's that working for you?
Yeah.
So tell us, because I see this a lot, too, is some women will say out there is that, well, I read all the books, I read the blogs, I talk to all the experts, but it's not working for me. So can you give us some tips on why that really doesn't work?
Well, again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, is everybody has all this knowledge. I mean, we have the self-help shelf, where all these books, all these programs, we listen to this person, but we take action looking for the magic pill, the quick fix. Okay, I read this book, I'm going to do this one thing that I heard about, I'm going to go to this singles event, and I'm going to strike up a conversation, but it wasn't the guy that I'm supposed to be with, so forget it, I quit.
Right.
And life about anything is about consistent action over a period of time. And it really comes down to not what we're doing, but who we're being. It's like, why can two individuals go to the same college, study under the same professors, one get out and have a rocking career, and the other struggle the rest of their life? Because It's not the knowledge, it's who we're being and what we're doing with who we're being.
Right, and I always tell the women that I coach is that if you really want to change your dating life, it's going to take practice and it's going to take work. It's not something that's going to change overnight, and you've been doing the habits that you've been doing for however long, and to change those habits isn't going to be easy because we're all creatures of habit, right?
Well, I think we're creatures of habit when there's something in it for us, because all of a sudden when it comes into our best interest, we can change our habits like that.
Right.
And so I believe it's getting to that point. Sometimes a woman will be in a relationship with a guy where she just has enough, and then all of a sudden, boom, she changes her mind and she's out. So all of a sudden, she's able to get out when the emotional charge is there. Right. And unfortunately, I think for most of us, it takes us getting to that point, that rock bottom where, okay, I'm done enough. Now I'm going to change.
And I see that a lot, is I see people hit rock bottom when it comes to dating, and they're just like, this isn't working. And then you're right, they come to me and they're like, I want that quick fix. And I'm like, it's some people will actually say to me, well, how long is this going to take? When will I start seeing results? And I'm like, well, everybody's different. It depends on you. And, if you do the exercises and we start working together, because a lot of people will come to me and then they won't do the exercises that I give them. And then they're like, why am I not getting results?
Right. So you just hit the nail on the head. It all comes to personal responsibility, and we want to blame everybody and everything. It's the book didn't work. It's the coach didn't work.
Right.
It's the seminar didn't work. Where, if you want to lose weight, you can't just go and work out. You've got to eat better. You've got to exercise. There's all these things that you have to do consistently over time. And the problem is we see all these we're so ingrained in this quick fix magic bullet mentality that we want it yesterday, and it's simply not the way it works.
And I love that you bring that up about, again, because I use a lot of analogies when I coach my clients, because I feel that it helps them really see, instead of me just telling them about what's going to work for them in dating. And I love that you use that about losing weight, because, a lot of people will say, well, I want to lose weight quick. Everybody does, obviously. And so they'll do like a diet plan for like whatever, a month and a half, 2 months, and they'll drop like 15 pounds, maybe 10 to, I don't know. I don't do diets, but so they'll drop the weight really fast, but then after that, they go back to their regular eating habits, and they're like, well, I don't understand. I wish the weight would stay off. Well, you have to keep doing it, right?
Well, here's the key, is because it's not the diets. Let's face it, and that's why I love using that analogy, is because we make life so much more complicated than it needs to be. If you're going to be in a relationship, you need to be in a relationship with a guy who consistently makes you happy and makes you fulfilled. I mean, that's really it. Mm-hmm. If he's not consistently making you happy and fulfilled, he's simply the wrong guy. But then we'll come up with all the reasons, all the excuses, just like with losing weight. If a person wants to lose weight, they need to eat better and they need to exercise regularly. That's it. It's not really complicated. Yet there's 15 billion books out there and programs on how to lose weight, and yet we're obese. Our country is obese. Right. So that's why you'll never see one book, because it's not about the knowledge. It's about who the person is and what's going on in their world. Some people eat for stress. Other people eat for anxiety. Other people eat because it's comfort. It's what they know.
Exactly.
And so it's different for each individual, and that's where you're absolutely right. If a person has some blocks, there's some stuff there, they need to do the work, because otherwise they're going to keep creating the same pattern over and over again.
Exactly. And ladies out there, I know this is hard to hear, but you really, really do need to start to look inward, because you're the common denominator as far as why relationships aren't working for you. And I know it's going to be hard, but you have to look inward and see the patterns that you keep repeating and what you need to change to really attract the right man to you. So, Joe, can you give us a few tips on how women can get a start on changing their dating life?
Sure. Well, I always say the first thing to do is you simply want to step out and observe. When we're so close, human beings are emotional creatures. Everything we do comes down to getting our emotional needs met. So even logically, if we know it doesn't make sense, we know it doesn't work for us, we'll continue to do it. That's why very often a woman will be in a relationship. She knows she's miserable. She knows the guy's cheating. He's not the right guy for her. But yet she'll justify it and come up with all the reasons, excuses as to why she can't get out. And that's simply because something's going on in an unconscious level where it's meeting her needs. And no matter how much logically she says she doesn't want it, it's not working, she's going to continue to do it. So I always say, take a step back as if you're an observer. It's kind of like, you ever know how it's easy to give your girlfriends advice?
Right.
You can tell them what to do because you're not emotionally involved.
Exactly.
So I say, take a step back, try and get detached from your emotions and go, what's going on here? What's the pattern, as you said? Because there always are clues. That's the beauty of life. There's always, always, always clues. Because the clues will give you some insight into where you need to do some work.
Exactly.
And that's really the most important thing, is really get real. And something that you said I want to expand on a little more. There's this premise that if I go down there, I'm going to find something that I don't want to find. And so it's like I'll run from it. And the thing is, none of us are broken, no matter what's happened in our past. We're not broken. We're simply human beings, and we do things for very specific and predictable reasons. So if you understand, oh, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, this is why I'm attracted to those kind of guys. This is why I have issues of trust. And what happens is we avoid those things instead of dealing with them. There's a great song by Garth Brooks called Standing Outside the Fire. The only way to get past it is to go through it. And so by not dealing with it, it costs us so much more in time and energy and not getting the results we want than if we just jump in, deal with it. Sometimes we shed a few tears, so what? But at least you're done with it and then you move on. So it really comes with, getting real and getting honest with oneself.
I think that's an excellent tip. And one other thing that I want to add to that is what a lot of women tend to do, well, men too, but more so women, is that women tend to ask their friends and family for advice on what's going on with my love life. And this is what I tell them, is that they're biased as to what they're going to tell you, as far as whether or not they like the guy that you're dating or what they're seeing, and they may not give you the full truth of what's going on. They may not want to hurt your feelings, and so that's why you and I are a better gauge of what's going on, because we're unbiased in what's going on. We have no stake in the matter,
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And again, it was what we talked about earlier about emotional needs. And so those people close to you are emotionally invested as well.
Exactly.
And so I agree 1,000%. So it is real important to have somebody who not only doesn't have a biased interest, but who knows what the hell they're talking about.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people out there, I always say you wouldn't take financial advice from a homeless guy sleeping on the bench.
Exactly.
So you really want to be careful about who you're taking advice from. If you're taking it from your girlfriend who's been divorced 3 times, or your mother who's had relationship problems, maybe not the best source.
Exactly. Well, these have been some excellent tips. So, Joe, tell our audience how they can find you.
The biggest thing is to, just simply check in on our website, which is www.smarterdatingforwomen.com. And, just like you, we have a lot of things there. I find that people play at life at different levels. There's people who like to dabble and they like to go to this person and to that person. There's other person that really resonate. I find whether it's me, Suzanne, anybody else, find the person that you really resonate with and that you connect with, because that resonation is there to help you see this is the person that's going to help you get to the next level.
Exactly. And especially when you're dealing with something like your personal life, you really have to get the dating coach that works for you. So, again, like Joe said, whether it's myself or Joe or anybody else, you just want to make sure that you mesh with the person. So thanks, Joe, for being on the show, and thanks, everybody, for joining us on the Single and Stiletto Show. Our show is available both in video format and podcast format. If you would like to view the videos, you can go to singleandstilettos.com. And if you would like to get the podcast, you can go to iTunes and download it from there. And if you would like to get our free report on the top 10 secrets on what attracts a man and what turns him off, you can click right here on the video, or you can go to singleandstilettos.com.